This is the most important video you could ever watch if you need to grow e-commerce stores or you want to have success working in e-commerce. I'm going to show you how to be a world-class e-commerce marketer so you can grow stores even if you're new to the industry, don't have money, or you suck at it. If you're already good at e-commerce marketing, you will discover how to be better. After 20 years, I've become world-class in e-commerce marketing fields. I've driven hundreds of millions in revenue for small businesses, which is the hardest business to grow because they have poor resources and bad systems. That's where I come in. I've made so many mistakes along the way, and if I could start over, I'd follow these 4 simple steps I'm about to give you to compress 20 years of knowledge into 2 years of learning so you too can rapidly scale e-commerce brands. The first step comes from a mistake I made every day that I see so many marketers make. When you make the mistake, everything you do, from the videos you make to the copy you write, gets less sales. When I fixed it, I was suddenly equipped with new skills to drive sales in record time. The mistake became clear to me when I was being interviewed for an SEO manager job at an online travel agency called What If. What If ended up being acquired by Expedia for $658 million in 2014. On What If, you can book accommodation, flights, cars, and activities. The website has over 2.3 million pages of content with complex navigation, so it's a tough SEO gig. During my interview, the guy interviewing me asked, "What's the difference between a 301 and 302 redirect?" I blankly stared at him. 5 seconds passed before I decided I'd better end the silence by having a guess. A 301 redirect is for internal links, and a 302 redirect is for external links. I thought keeping silent would be the same as skipping a multiple choice question in a test. I would be better off selecting something. As if my silence wasn't already clear enough that I didn't know the answer, opening my mouth confirmed it. In case you're wondering, the right answer is a 301 redirect is a permanent redirect that passes SEO value to the new URL, while a 302 redirect is a temporary, keeping the original URL indexed without transferring SEO value. The mistake isn't knowing the difference between a 301 and a 302 redirect. Granted, you should know the difference because expanding your SEO knowledge lets you get results. The real mistake I made is not being humble enough to realize and own what I didn't know. I now sit in the chair of the job interviewer. Interviewing SEO experts with Digital Darts, where we grow Shopify stores, I've asked the exact same question to maybe 15 people. As an insider, I can tell you that most so-called SEO experts who get to the interview stage can't answer the basic question about redirects. The worst is they then guess, like I did. Instead, you should admit you don't know an answer. That's humility, which is one of the most important values I look for when hiring an e-commerce marketer. You see, humility carries over into everything you do. Humility makes you open to new ideas. It makes you willing to unlearn old habits when they've been proven inferior, and it makes you unafraid to ask for help. That is how you learn. That is how you become a good e-commerce marketer. This is so important in e-commerce marketing, where the way to do something changes every year. Anytime you struggle with a campaign or you don't know how to solve a problem, like sourcing creative for video ads, don't hesitate to ask for help. Asking for advice isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of self-awareness. The most effective people I know ask the right questions to tap into the experience of others. Opposite of humility is arrogance. Arrogance gets in the way of growth. When you think you know everything, you close yourself off from the possibility of learning. That's how you stop growing as an e-commerce marketer. A big problem for wise e-commerce marketers is remaining humble, but knowing when to stand up with confidence. There's a lot of stupidity in this industry. The distinction to help you with this is that when you are humble and confident, you can explain why your strategy is favorable over the other option. For example, you should know enough about why someone may argue for a Performance Max campaign in a certain situation. But then you can justify why you're sticking to a shopping and search campaign structure. That's scientific marketing. Step 2, The next big lesson works beautifully with humility to rapidly level up your skills to get traffic and sales as an e-commerce marketer. If you miss this step, you can't become an expert. This step is a real key to mastery that I see great people have in all fields. Here's a story that shows you the lesson that should influence every hour of your working life. One day I was building out an email template in the email marketing platform Klaviyo for a Shopify client. A template is great as it lets you create all other emails in your automations and campaigns quickly while maintaining consistency. The client had very particular brand requirements such as an overall mood of simplicity and high-end feel, but then also specific desires like fonts, colors, and icons. I needed to use the Gamaron font for emails. At the time in Klaviyo, the font wasn't available in Klaviyo as you could only select basic fonts like Arial or Korea. I could have simply told the client that the font is unavailable and that they would have to pick up another one. Or I could take another path built from curiosity. I took the curiosity path. When you're curious, you ask a lot of questions. From this one seemingly small challenge of a font on emails, here are the questions I came up with. Why didn't Klaviyo have many fonts? In web pages, you could embed font files, so maybe I could do this in emails. If I could embed a custom font, what's the effect on loading speeds in emails? Could different devices see the custom font? If custom fonts aren't possible, maybe I could use images which had text in the font that were designed in Photoshop. This would avoid loading a font file, but there'd be a point where a lot of images would be slower anyway. Thinking about the future, I'd also have to create custom images of text for every email, which stole the value of having a template. This is just one problem encountered on one day. The simple path would have solved the problem quickly. Most people take the simple path in business because they just want to get the job done. There's a massive difference between merely doing the work and doing the work right. The path of curiosity led me to solving the problem of getting a custom font in emails with CSS. I also learned how to design the email with a fallback font, as I discovered most email clients wouldn't even show the custom font. I discovered split tests that showed emails which had image-only designs, so they could use custom fonts, had worse deliverability. These insights don't come from walking the path of least resistance to getting the job done as quickly as possible. Mastery stems from curiosity. I've got some of my favorite questions I ask myself to flush out curiosity that I want to share with you to help you grow businesses. What are first principles in the situation? A first principle is a foundational stance that you know is true. It can't be wrong. A first principle in advertising is revenue and ad spend. You know how much you've spent and how much you've made, which should drive many decisions. You can't argue against those. This avoids bad decision making to do with making decisions off ROAS or attribution models that have a lot of unknowns. Another question I love, who's already solved this problem? I got this from Tim Ferriss. Tim uses this question to find shortcuts and learn from others as he's able to do ridiculous things like never play the drums to drumming live on stage in front of a large audience in 1 week. One last question I'll share comes from Astro Teller, who leads Google's Moonshots team, a division responsible for radical innovation. If I had to make this 10 times better, how would I do it? Astro says it's often easier to make something 10 times better than 10% better. You might be unable to make a campaign or ad 10 times better, but this simple question stops you from the cycle of small iterations to creatively drive big results. You see, when you're humble and you're curious, you can discover a lot of crazy things. The combination of humble curiosity is one of the fastest ways to acquire any skill. Since you're watching this video, I know you love e-commerce and want to understand how to grow stores. I've got more videos like this coming your way when you subscribe to this YouTube channel for free. Click subscribe and enable notifications so you can be told the moment a new video on scaling Shopify stores is out. This leads me to the biggest mistake I made in every marketing activity. If you want to be able to grow the traffic and sales of stores as quickly as possible, you've got to avoid this massive blunder. You can be humble about an unknown guy standing in front of you at the door at midnight, and you can be curious about what he's doing. But if you open the door to ask him how to grow a store, you're stupid. You're stupid and maybe dead. You might be making the mistake right now by being on YouTube. YouTube is an incredible resource to learn from. If you need to learn how to fix a Tesla axle, someone on YouTube will show you how. The problem with knowledge work like digital marketing is that people have a lot of opinions, and opinions don't get results. So much advice is just people regurgitating how to advise. If I learn 5 ways to improve Google Ads, it can be either wrong or completely useless. I've wasted so much time reading endless articles and watching videos trying to learn how to get good at growing stores. You wouldn't ask a random guy at midnight approaching your front door for marketing advice, so you shouldn't do it online. Instead, what you want to learn from is what I call how I advice, where the person did X to achieve Y result. Not only should you follow how I advice, where the person has done the thing you want, but you need a framework that pieces together these lessons into a single system you can reference and trust. This saves you so much time and stress. The biggest problem with free information is its randomness. 10 people learning the same things will end up doing 10 completely different things before the most effective and efficient path of action is taken. How do you solve this? Mentorship, courses, and hired help are 3 of the fastest ways to solve this problem. One of the best ways to accurately assess where you suck at and what you should do next is with a mentor. The mentor points you down a path that you're hesitant to travel or you had no idea even existed. I also mentioned online courses. Online courses have given me the best ROI compared to anything else. They've developed my skills faster than networking, conferences, or shallow articles. A good course goes deep to transform your beliefs and skills because it gives you organized models to learn from. You're able to piece things together. That's mentorship and courses. A third way to fast problem solving and skill acquisition is hired help. Pay for expertise, and you'll be buying back your time, fast tracking your progress, and avoiding the guesswork that holds most people back. I don't know a single successful person who hasn't paid for expert help. Think of money in this context as time tokens. If there's something outside your skill set, something you'd rather avoid, or something that's going to take hours to learn from scratch, use a time token. Paying for help amplifies your strengths and keeps you focused on what you do best. It's an investment that clears the clutter, giving you direct path to your goals with less stress. Mentors, courses, and hired help can just waste money if you don't know how to do it correctly. I've got a very helpful model for this called LED that will save you years in anything you learn for the rest of your life. There are 3 steps to rapidly learn in what I call LED. I teach this in my course, Clear Cut Growth, where you learn how to scale your e-commerce store. LED stands for log, execute, duplicate. You firstly find the person who has the skill you want to acquire. This person must have done what you wanted to do. Not only that, but they must have logged their method in some way, detailing what they did. Sometimes the resource is already logged in the form of a course, article, or even a tweet. Secondly, they have executed the details. This guarantees you're not learning from a theorist. If they have logged, then executed the details, it reduces the chance of critical details being left out of their log. It's the nuances of a skill that really get results. If you join a good brand measured by the work they do or great marketing agency, they will have someone else who has logged what to do in the form of processes and they've executed it. Compare that to a bad agency or a bad e-commerce brand, which there are so many of. They won't have someone else in the company expert in the skill you want to level up in, or they lack any processes to replicate such results. So joining such good companies is the fastest way to complete the log and execute steps. The third part of the LED model is duplicate. This is you taking action. You follow their log by copying it. You can have the best mentors or do the best courses, but if you don't practice your head knowledge, you haven't actually learned. In 2008, I set a New Year's resolution to read a book every week. By the end, I managed to read 51 books. I'd read some incredible books and discovered good ideas, but how much better off was I? You can't do what's taught in a book in a single week, every week for 1 year. There is a 2013 study of a little over 7,000 people in 17 countries who had a heart attack. They were studied to see if they'd changed 3 areas of their life following their heart attack. The 3 areas were stopping smoking, eating healthy, and physical exercise. Of the 7,500 patients surveyed in 17 countries, only 4.3% of people changed. That's crazy. Everyone knows that smoking is bad for you. You need to eat healthy, that exercise is good, but few people actually change. Statistically speaking, people prefer to die rather than change. The problem isn't having the right information. It does not matter if you know what to do if you don't do what you know. Knowing is doing. World-class trainers say knowing is behavior change. I heard about a guy who goes to business conferences. The moment he discovers something new he can apply to his business, he leaves the conference, then applies the lesson. The moment you discover something new, you should either do it now or log it in your project management tool so it gets done within the quarter. Today, I read close to 4 books in a year to help my working life. I'm extremely picky about the books, buying 1 book for each quarter, usually, that solves the biggest problem of the quarter. This means I'm acquiring knowledge for the most important activity I'm working on. Since I'm solving the problem, I do nearly everything I read about. Now that you see how to learn efficiently, then take action, I want to give you something that will forever change how you think about skills, differentiate yourself, and make you an unstoppable force as a marketer or a business owner in any market conditions. The great Bruce Lee shows you how to be an unstoppable force. Bruce is best known for his martial arts and populating Eastern combat in movies. He didn't just do Kung Fu. He was so valued and unique because he won a Hong Kong boxing tournament, trained in Wing Chun, practiced mixed martial arts, learned judo, lifted weights, and got into street fights. This combination of skills gave him a breadth of experience and knowledge to do things others couldn't and still can't. You've only got so much time to develop as an e-commerce marketer. The water here represents the time you have to develop in e-commerce. If you pour your time into a bit of Google Ads, a bit of paid social, a bit of SEO, organic, CRO, email, you'll be bad at everything. The smarter approach is to pour your time into a single cup like Google Ads. You start out in Google Ads figuring out how to do keyword research and write good ads. You then learn how to optimize feeds, build good structures, use Google machine learning. After enough learning and practice, you master it. This approach of pouring your time into a single cup works in e-commerce marketing because you become valuable. You become able to generate sales where others can't. You solve problems others can't. You also fill the cup quicker because you're pouring all of your water into the 1 cup. After personally analyzing the skills of over 1,000 digital marketers who've applied to work at my marketing agency, Digital Darts, I can confidently say that it's rare to even have just one area of true expertise, let alone 2, 3, or 4. I see people say they're good at Google Ads as their one field, but they don't even know how to analyze conversion tracking. Once 1 cup is full, it's at this point that you can elevate your value. Begin by developing secondary skills of this primary skill. Secondary skills complement what you do, like copywriting. A good second cup for anyone to fill is the ability to craft high converting landing pages. If you develop this skill, your first skill, whether it's Google Ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, email, or SEO, it doesn't matter. You will be able to get more sales than others in your first area of expertise. An even rarer Google Ads advertiser knows how to script video ads that convert, which then lets him or her scale YouTube ads, as well as paid social. When you stack just one skill onto a profession, you become more valuable than the majority of others doing the same work. You become Bruce Lee. A Google advertiser who can script video ads is rare. A Google advertiser who can script, direct, film, and edit high-converting video ads is a unicorn. If you can achieve this, you will run incredible YouTube ads that most competitors, including brands and peers, won't ever touch. Stack skill after skill, you will increase your ability to generate valuable outcome and soon enough unlock a world of possibilities. No matter how you progress in your e-commerce marketing, don't compare how you're going against me, certain timelines or others you've heard about. Your past is too different from others to compare yourself with them. Comparing yourself to others only produces shame. Every marketer has experienced shame. A bad campaign bubbles up to your identity where you associate that to yourself and label yourself as a bad marketer. You internalize it. This is where it's really valuable to have a team member, someone in your network or a mentor who can help you learn from your mistake or explain the performance had nothing to do with what you did. The antidote to comparison is to compare yourself to who you once were. Compare your present self to your past self. I hope this video helps you along your journey in e-commerce. If you want the ultimate system to fast track your skills so you can grow online stores with SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads, email, YouTube, strategy, and more, go get my Clear Cut Growth course, which is my proven system to scale e-commerce stores.